Learn how to use built-in browser tools like check validity method to verify if a user's input matches specific rule and display automatic error messages. In this example, we are going to be looking at the JavaScript validation API and look at how you can verify a user input to match specific rules like maybe minimum, maximum, or require fields. When users start into a form, you often need rules like ensuring that age is a number or password isn't empty. So instead of writing complex code to check all this validation manually, HTML and JavaScript have a built-in assistant called the validation API. So you set the rule directly on your HTML like input, and then JavaScript can instantly check if the user followed those rules with a single command. So if they didn't, the browser provides a ready-made error message for you. So now we're going to take a look at the example that we have for this lesson together. So let's move into our script tag and let's make a function and call it validation function, or you can name it anything that you want. Now inside this function, let's make let's make a variable, call it, don't write that info, input object, then call the document.getElement by id method, and then you need to use this to fetch the id of your form, but currently I don't have any id, so I'll skip this because when I make the input field, then I can come and put in the right ID inside of this place. Now, once you set the ID, then you can use the if conditional statement to check that okay, if the input object dot check validity. What this simply means is not. So if not input object or check validity, that is what is in this field, if it is an empty or there's nothing or it does not have any value. That is what you are basically trying to do. Then we can say write to the screen and tell us document.getElement by id dot inner HTML input object dot validation message. Now, S just tell us that the input is okay if everything is fine. So get element by ID demo and then inner HTML equals to input okay. So what we basically did inside if statement is that if this does not meet the rule set, then display a validation message, that is display an error that will let us know. But if everything is okay, then go ahead and tell us that the input is okay. Now, in order for us to be able to make use of this script, let's move back inside the HTML section. And inside this HTML section, let's put an input field. And let's give it an ID. Let's say ID1. You can give it any ID of choice. And then the type of what you want here is number. We want number to be typed inside this input box. Then we want to give it a minimum and as well as maximum to be 300. Now, I want to say this feed is required. That is, you cannot skip feed unless you click on it. Unless you fill it rather. Now, let's add button. Let's give our button an ID for BTN. And now, let's give it a property of complete property. And inside this unclick, then just call that function, validation function that we made earlier. And then let's say maybe okay or something. Yeah, good. So now, if you look at my input, let's say I enter something like 12 and I click OK. Nothing is actually happening, right? But if I put something like 100, let me inspect just a second. Document at least, okay, sorry. I need to pass the ID of my input field into this part. So ID 1. Yeah. So I can go ahead. I can see input okay. The maximum is 300. This also should give us compute. Okay, but when I do 30, let's see how the validation can become useful. Now look at it. Please select a value that is no less than 100. And where is this coming from? Well, it is coming from the fact that we set a minimum value and a maximum value. So, which means that even this message that please select a value that is no less than 100 is coming from the built-in JavaScript validation API. So you can see that immediately that a set of rules is not matched, then it immediately throws an error to let us know that we have violated one of the rules that has been set alongside our form. Now, let me put something that is higher than 300 so that you will see what it's going to happen as well. So you can see, please select a value that is not more than 300. But if I return back and I put maybe 200, then everything should just work fine this time around. I can see input okay. So the input objects are check validity, ask the browser to check if the input element satisfy all its HTML rules. So it returns true if the input is completely valid and false if any rule is broken. So here are a few key takeaways from this lesson. The validation message property saves you from writing custom error text. The browser handles it dynamically based on which rule was taken. You can see that error that was given, I was not even the one who wrote it. It was given dynamically by the browser. I'm talking about this. Number 2, check validity method return a simple true or false, making it clean to use inside conditional statements.